Hi everyone. Yesterday, sadly, we had to say goodbye to our beautiful, beautiful girl, Trixie. I'm devastated about it because this came out of absolutely nowhere. It was very unexpected, so I've been crying for her a lot already. What has happened is last week we had noticed that she seemed to be having some breathing problems. She was breathing more heavy than usual, and also I could see that she had lost a lot of weight because Trixie was one of our bigger girls to begin with. But then last week when I was holding her, she was just skin and bones. So we took her to the vet and she listened to her breathing, and she said that she could hear that her breathing was very raspy, and that it looked like she was having a respiratory infection, which she has had in the past, so we didn't think it was going to be that bad. The vet did ask if she could keep Trixie there just for a little while, so that she could put her in an oxygen tent just in case her breathing would get worse. So of course that was fine for us. But then the next morning, we received a phone call from the vet who told us that things were not going well with Trixie because they had actually found blood in her cage and they didn't really know where it had come from. So they asked us if they had our permission to give her an anesthetic and to make an X-ray so they could find out what the problem was, and then maybe they would be able to do something about it. So of course we agreed to that, and then after the X-ray was done, they contacted us again, and the vet told us that things were actually a lot worse with Trixie than what they had originally thought, because they had found a very large mass inside her chest. And on the X-ray, it didn't really show what exactly it was, but they were thinking that it could have been something like a growth that was inside of her pressing against her lungs, which is why she was having difficulty breathing. So of course I asked straight away if they could do a surgery and remove whatever it was that was inside of her chest, and if they could just fix her that way. But the vet told us that unfortunately in a little rat it's not possible to do that kind of massive surgery, because she actually compared it to doing open heart surgery in humans. And she said that if they did that surgery on her, that she wouldn't even have lived through the surgery, that she would have died on the operating table. So, of course, that was very bad news. And then I asked if there was anything else they could do, or if this was the end for Trixie. And then the vet told us that they wanted to just give her another chance, because it was possible that maybe with antibiotics that it would get better, because maybe if it wasn't a growth, but perhaps if it was mucus or something, with antibiotics they might be able to clear it up. So we were hopeful that she would get better and that with antibiotics it might help. So what the vet actually did was, because it was weekend then, she took Trixie home with her for the weekend so that she was able to look after her constantly, and that's it, so that she would be there if anything happened to help Trixie. So during the weekend we were hoping that Trixie would get better, but then on Monday we received a call from the vet again, who told us that things had gone really downhill with Trixie, that she had been laying there just on the Monday for hours already, and that she wasn't even moving anymore, that she was just using all her strength just to try and breathe, that she wasn't eating anything anymore either, because if she was eating she would not be able to breathe. And that it was clear that the antibiotics had not helped, so that it was obviously some sort of growth that was inside of her, and that it would be best to let Trixie go, because she was suffering So that was really tough to hear because we were still hopeful that she would get better. And then the vet told us that she would prefer to do it right there and then, and just stop her suffering, because she was just struggling to stay alive. And she said that it was clear that Trixie was already on her way out, and that it would be best to say goodbye to her at that time, because it's the vet is quite far away from where we live. It's about 2 hours from door to door. And it wouldn't be fair to let her suffer for another several hours just for us to make our way over to the vet to see her. So that's when we made the decision to say goodbye and to just let her go. So it's been really, really tough, because when I'm thinking last year, this time, we still had 5 girls. They were all still with us. And now it's just 2 girls left, little Minnie and little Lucy. We didn't even have Trixie yet for a full 2 years. We got her together with Lucy in July of 2014. So we had her for 1 year and 10 months. And that's it. And I always thought that Trixie would be one of our girls that we would have for a very long time. But with these girls, it comes out of nowhere. When you least expect it, they can get sick, and then it gets bad so quickly. It's just really sad, because they're such wonderful little animals, and you love them so very much, and then to have to see them go like that it's really, really tough. So at least I know that we made the right decision for her, that it wouldn't be fair to keep her alive, because it's imagine if you're like that, if you can't breathe, how awful that must be. So I hope that she's happy now with Poppy and with Misty, wherever she is. And we will definitely never ever forget her, and we'll always think of her.